Hello friends, welcome back to ROM Cart. Today in this video I am going to review the Project Elixir version 4.0 official for Realme RM675 devices, which includes Realme 6, 6i, Realme 7, Narzo 20 Pro, Narzo 30, 4G. And the author of this build is Avalanche. So thank you Avalanche for making this official build for this community. So the Android version of this ROM is Android 14 and the build date is of 22nd January 2024, and the kernel that is used in this ROM is 4.14.336 psionic kernel, and the download size is pretty higher than the other ROMs. It's 3.22 GB. So just like other ROM, let's start with the settings, and before that let me show you that this ROM is really very smooth. In the first impression you will notice the smoothness of this ROM. It's just as smooth as PixelOS. I mean, it's one of the smoothest ROM that you can get for Realme RM675 devices. So let's get to the settings. Now this is the settings UI. You get the username right here, then the Essence, which is the customization center of Project Elixir. I am coming to this in few minutes. So in the About Phone, this is the About Phone UI, and in Android version you can see this build is based on Android 14, Realme UI 2.0 based, and you can see it's clearly mentioned that your device is officially supported by Project Elixir. So here is the Android version, which is Android 14, and the security update is of 5 January 2024, and the kernel that is used is 4.14.336 psionic kernel, as you can see here, and the Linux status is enforcing, which is good for security purpose. However, if you go to Play Store and go to settings and about, you will see that the device is not certified. As you can see here, the device is not certified, so that's a pretty bad thing. You have to additionally flash the safety net module to get the Play Store certification, and for the Play Store certification some payment apps doesn't work, so you have to do that additionally. So this is it for the about section of this ROM. Now you get the battery information right here, which shows the battery cycle count. That means how many times you have charged your device. Now in system you get the language, keyboard gestures, multiple users, etc. And you get the system UI tuner, where you get the status bar controls and do not disturb and the plugins. I don't know what the plugin is, but the status bar items is the items that you can see in your status bar. Now in gestures you get the swipe to screenshot, navigation mode, quickly open camera, and one-handed mode. In navigation mode we get the gesture navigation, 2-button and 3-button navigation, and if I click here you get the tutorial to use the gestures, and you get an option to hide the gesture indicator. So by default the IME button space is this much, and if you hide the gesture indicator you can see the IME button space is completely gone. So that's how it works, and you can also customize the back gesture animation and back gesture haptic. And for update, you can head over to Elixir Updater and you will get the latest update for your device right here. Now in security and privacy we get the device unlock, and in device unlock we get the face and fingerprint with the screen lock, and the speed is pretty good. I mean, it's normal, there is no delay or something. Now talking about the battery backup, the battery backup is really good. It's almost 7 hours of screen on time, and in battery usage you will get to see the screen on time, and in battery optimization you will get the battery saver and battery optimization. Then we have the battery temperature and the battery widget. Now in display we get the extra dim, which is working perfectly fine, and you get a tutorial or notation right here, and you can also customize the brightness of the extra dim. Then we get the smallest width, night light, which is also working fine, and you can customize the intensity. Then we get the smooth display, pocket mode, screensaver, and the ambient display. Now in wallpaper and style we get the lock screen customization, the home screen. Okay, so let's talk about the lock screen first. Now in the lock screen you get all these clock fonts and clock styles basically, and I like this one the most. Now in home screen we get the settings like this, and in lock screen if I go to clock color and size, you can customize the clock color, and I don't know what is this option, I mean what this slider is for, but however let's keep it. Now let's move further. Now in more wallpapers you get this options, and in Elixir walls we get this much wallpapers, and the default wallpaper is this one, which looks pretty dope. Now in random walls we get these wallpapers, and in space we get this much. Now in strange dimensions we get this cool wallpapers and all the Google wallpapers right here. And in Emoji Workshop we get the emoji wallpaper that you can completely customize by yourself. You can add any emoji and patterns, colors, etc. Now in Inspire Me you will get randomized emojis in your wallpaper and in randomized colors. Now in more lock screen options we get these options like dynamic clock, use device controls, etc. In home screen customization all settings looks the same, and the themed icons only changes the apps in the home screen and it doesn't apply to the app drawer. And in network and internet we get private DNS and we don't get any preset DNS. We have to add the DNS manually. Now finally let's get to the customization center. Now in customization center we get the about of the developers, then the donate option. If you use this ROM and like to use it, you can donate them by following these links. Now in themes the settings takes a little bit time, then we can see these options which is use custom theme, then the headline or body font, and we get a bunch of options. Then we have the icon packs, the icon shape, then we get the signal icon style, Wi-Fi icon style, and we get a bunch of options. I'm not talking about them individually. Then we get the brightness slider style, and here I don't think we get much options. Then we have the data icon style, and in lock screen we get these options like edge light, then the screen of animation, then the refill effect. So this is the refill effect, this one, and if you turn it off the screen will unlock. The screen will unlock normally like this. There will be no refill animation. Although if you like the refill effect then you can keep it turned on. However, it is not showing the refill effect every time. Then in status bar we get the 4G icon, brightness control, colored icons, battery style, battery percentage, and in traffic indicator we get this traffic indicator which is working perfectly fine. And in clock style we get right, center or left, and the clock and date option. Now in quick settings we get the hide status bar, haptic feedback, data usage, and the brightness slider, etc. And in miscellaneous we get the advanced restart which is an essential option for a custom ROM, and this is working perfectly fine. And you also get the system UI restart option as you can see right here, and the system UI takes this much time to restart. Then we get the game space where you can add any games from here. Now in game space we get options like stay awake, disable heads up notification, disable auto brightness, disable USB debugging, etc. And you can also customize the overlay menu opacity. So this is it about the customization center, and I think this could be little bit lifted towards the upside like this, but this is all you get. Now talking about the recent style, the recent style looks like this, and you get the select feature which is working perfectly fine, and the screenshot option is here. And talking about the RAM management, the RAM management is quite good. You can see I have the apps in the RAM, there is no problem loading the apps. And talking about the default camera, the default camera that is used in this ROM is the lineage camera, and all the sensors are working perfectly fine. However, you can also use Gcam if you like, if you want. Now talking about the performance, let's see the throttling graph. However, I don't understand why the throttling test app is not available in the Play Store. You can see when I search for it, it doesn't appear here, so I have to manually download it from the Chrome. However, let's see the throttling test result. So these are the two tests that I performed. So in the first one you can see I performed the test for 10 minutes and the CPU throttled only 80% of its maximum performance, and you can see the big clusters were fluctuating a lot. That's why the score is less, and the graph is not that much stable after 5 minutes. So this is the performance without any performance script or any custom kernel or any module. And also I tested this benchmark for 5 minutes, and you can see here the score is not that different. We get 81% throttling, we get maximum 81% throttling, and the graph is not stable at all. And you can see the big cluster frequency is fluctuating a lot. So this is how the ROM performs. And I did not find any option that unlocks the higher FPS in games like BGMI and Call of Duty. So you have to play it at 40 FPS, or you can use GFX tool. And for GFX tool, I recommend this GFX tool, which is the official for BGMI, and we are using it for years. So I'm going to use the GFX tool to show you the gaming test. And let's see the installation first before beginning to the gaming test. So first of all, reboot into recovery, and currently I'm using the TWRP 3.7 for Realme UI 2.0 based ROMs, and I'm using an external storage because the internal storage is encrypted. So first of all, go to wipe, go to advanced wipe, select the data, click on repair or change file system, then click on change file system and select the ext4 because previously it was set to F2FS. So after swiping, the data is formatted to ext4. Now again go to wipe, advanced wipe, select the cache and click on repair or change, then click on change file system, just click on change file system and also select the ext4 because this was also set to F2FS. Now you can do a reboot to recovery, but that is not mandatory. So now what you have to do is open the storage of OTG and click on the ROM file and swipe to flash, and you can see the flashing is successfully started. Project Elixir version 4.0 based on Android 14. So after the installation, just go to wipe and advanced wipe, select the data and click on repair or change file system, then click on change file system and select the F2FS. So now we are changing the data and cache back to F2FS. Now go to home and go to wipe again, click on advanced wipe, select the cache, repair or change file system and click on change and select the F2FS and swipe. Now after that you can safely reboot to system. And you can see the boot animation for Project Elixir just appeared. So we have successfully flashed this ROM on our Realme 6785 device. Now you can see the setup has begun and we can now set up this ROM and start using it. Now without further delay, let's get to the gaming test. So guys, I'm here in the BGMI and I have unlocked 90 FPS with the GFX tool, and currently we have 2 FPS meter, the game space FPS meter and the AOSP FPS meter right here. Both are working and sometimes the game space FPS meter is disappearing. So let's start the match and just notice the frame rate right here. I'll move it to this side. So guys, you can see currently we are getting around 50 to 60 FPS. Not much frame drop. So you can see the frame rate easily drops to 40 FPS because it's an heavy ROM. So this is the frame rate that you get without any custom kernel or without any performance script. So the frame rate you get is around 40 to 50 FPS. If you want stable 90 FPS, you can easily use the performance script. You don't have to use any modules. So the performance is not that good because we are using the psionic kernel, which is the stock kernel of this ROM, and that kernel is made for battery backup. So this is it for the gaming test. You got the idea, I hope, that how much FPS we get in this ROM without any performance mods. So let's quit this match, and for RAM management test I will open the Play Store and get back to BGMI. So the BGMI does not stay in the RAM. This is how the RAM management works in this ROM. So this is it for this video. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a like, and if you are new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. We are very close to 1000 subscribers, so I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.